Hello YouTube and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host Aaron Hauser, and today we're going to be reviewing the NECA Nightmare on Elm Street Series 4 set of figures. This includes Freddy Krueger as the Springwood slasher and Powerglove Freddy. Both of these figures are based off the film Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, and they each have the same articulation that we've seen in the previous series, which is they have the removable fedora. And then each of the figures has articulation in the ankles, in the waist, in the head, which is on a ball joint, wrists, elbows, and the shoulders. Now, I did see that each of these have the same issue with most of the other Freddy figures, which is when you get it out of the box, the gloves, the blades on the gloves, excuse me, are really bent. So you might have to do a little bit of work to straighten those out. But, yeah, as you can see, this one's pretty warped. You know what, we'll go ahead and start with this figure. I have these guys on display stands just because they're not standing up too well in my light box here. But overall, I really like this figure. This has a great head sculpt of Robert Englund. Better than the previous release that they had a couple years back. I want to say it was like a San Diego Comic-Con release or something like that. But yeah, this one just looks fantastic. Was really pleased with the paint application. They did a great job. There's no bleeding or anything on this head. This one actually looks incredibly close to the prototype images that they released when they first announced this series. So there is a couple paint scrapes on his leg there, but I might be able to get that out with a little effort. So glove was a little mangled, but overall, they did a decent job with this figure. I was really happy with the head sculpt, like I said. The only other thing that I really had an issue with was the sweater on this one. It looks like it's really hiked up on his shoulder, and I know you can kind of adjust it because it's a rubber portion there, but for some reason it just looks like it's really high up, like he's got like shoulder pads on or something. So maybe I just need to reposition it or something like that, but it just looks a little off to me. Overall, not a horrible figure. I will say it was a little odd. The fedora that comes with him, it doesn't really fit on his head too well. Like, you kind of have to smash it on there, but it won't stick. And when it does, it just kind of rolls off. So, honestly, with this head sculpt, it looks a little better without it on, so I'd probably just display him as is like that. But overall, not a bad figure. I will note that I got this series for, I want to say it was around, I want to say 40 bucks plus shipping and handling through the NECA store. They ship really fast, and they pack all their figures very nicely, so they arrive in really good condition, which is nice. But yeah, same articulation on the Powerglove Freddy. And then he has his Powerglove there. Looks fantastic. They did a great job. The head sculpt on this one, it's really 50-50 for people. It looks really overly animated. But the bizarre thing is, if you actually look at that scene, that exact shot in the movie, that's how he looks. He has these like big Bugs Bunny eyes that it's just very odd the way. Maybe it was just when they captured it or timed it or whatever. But I thought that Freddy wore like contacts, or they put Robert Englund to where they had him wearing contacts so that his eyes looked a little different. But in Freddy's Dead, he just looked a little wide-eyed. I don't know. It was a little weird. But overall, not a bad head sculpt, but it's really going to turn a lot of people off from buying this figure just because it looks so, I don't know, it just looks really cartoony. But overall, it's not a bad head sculpt. It did capture the look in that scene, but it was kind of a goofy face to put on there. I would have rather seen something a bit more serious or something a bit more neutral. But if they were trying to go with the smirk he has when he reveals that he's got the Powerglove on, I think it works for what it is. So overall, I was really happy with this figure. I think the most out of the two, because he didn't have any sort of paint issues at all. The glove, as you can see, it's a little, the blades are a little bent. But if you have them on display with that iconic look from that shot where he's kind of holding up the glove and it's to the side like that, you can't totally notice that they're bent, so it doesn't look that horrible. But overall, pretty cool figure. And I know this was definitely one of those ones that the fans asked for a long, long time, especially when it came to doing figures for the Final Nightmare. But overall, I think this is it's a very cool set of figures. I think that this is probably going to be one of the last series, I'd imagine, from NECA for this Freddy line. They basically made all of their Freddy figures with the exact same body sculpts, so they could just interchange the head and more or less the feet and arms. There's been a couple instances where they went a little further than that. Some of the ones with the Chest of Souls they did in one of the other releases. That was a pretty cool set. But overall, they've kind of exhausted all their options for just interchanging small parts. So I'm not sure if they'll be doing anything for New Nightmare or what was the other one? Or for Freddy vs. Jason. I think it'd be really cool if they actually did a Freddy Krueger based off of the DLC for Mortal Kombat, if they just called it like Combat Freddy or something, where he has the two gloves on his left and right hand. And then, you know, it looks more like the reboot Freddy Krueger, but, you know, I think they could still use this same body sculpt with the legs and the torso and arms and everything, and make a really cool figure out of that. So, just an idea, something cool I'd like to see if they really had to, you know, milk this figure sculpt for one more Freddy. But they are going to be releasing a Mego style Freddy that they just announced within the last couple months, and that's going to be out later this fall, I believe, and it'll probably run for around probably $25 to $30. Hopefully it'll sell well. I think the Freddy and the Jason one that they announced look pretty cool. Not sure if the Freddy actually comes with a fedora yet. I thought that was a little odd that they'd release it without one. But overall, those figures look really cool, and I'm really excited for those as well. So, but yeah, that's about it for this review. If you have any questions about either of these figures, just leave them in the comments below, and check out some of my other reviews, including reviews for all the other Nightmare on Elm Street NECA series figures. So, that's about it. Thanks for watching.